The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you're having a beautiful week as we're leaning in together today to really connect and listen and learn. My heart's desire is to really equip and empower you on your journey in life. And we bring together experts to support you on your journey. So you don't have to figure it out all on your own. It's not a solo journey. You can really get support along the way. And today we're going to be focused on how to thrive. So please hear me in this, not just survive, but thrive in your relationships and in your purpose. I want you powerfully equipped and excited about bringing forward those things that matter most to you, that you're living a life on purpose and with purpose. But I want you to do it in a way that you thrive. You're excited about your life, that you're leaning in. You feel excited about your relationships and balance and moving forward powerfully. Today, that's what we're going to be focusing on, thriving in your relationships and on your purpose. So let's take a collective breath together as we connect in this space. And I want to celebrate that each of you today have said yes to you, that you are carving out this time in our busy lives to pause, to receive, be nourished and encouraged in your life. And building that kind of a practice in your life is just going to make a profound difference when we develop the ability and the muscles and the practice of listening and leaning in and growing. Then when we move forward, we can do it instead of just an automatic kind of reactive way, really on purpose. It gives us clarity on what to say yes to and what to say no to really bring forward those things that matter most to us. So I appreciate you each joining us today as we lean into the conversation. And as I was getting ready for today's show, I've been working on a chapter that I'm writing. And it's for a book that will be released later this year about being an entrepreneur and how do we really step into that powerfully. And I relate in the chapters different struggles I had along the way. And one of them that really struck me that I wanted to share with all of you today is about this purpose piece. One of the things I did for many, many years is I would climb the corporate ladder. I was really good at making lists and developing plans and following through and love crossing off things on my list. Those of you who've been a listener for a while, you know that about me. I like lists and I like to cross things off on them and create more. That's something I enjoy doing. And so I would look out in the world and find people that I admired, people that I felt were living a life they were happy in and successful in. And I would ask them what I needed to do. How could I become that? What is the definition of success? Or what are the steps to get there? How do I know I'm successful? I would ask them all of those kinds of things. And in doing that, I would develop a list and a plan of attack. And I would go forward, implement, and cross those things off my list. And what I would find as I climbed up the ladder and I would reach the pinnacle of that place, that I would look out in the world and go, this is it. I'm tired. I'm burnt out and I'd become a little bit disillusioned. So I thought, well, that must not be the right person to follow. So then I would find somebody else, another expert I admired, and I would go through the same process again. And on the outside, I had all these accomplishments. I was the youngest AVP in this worldwide organization, assistant vice president. I had a car, house, all these things, all these accomplishments. But inside, I was frustrated and burned out, and that became a very disillusioning experience for me. And it took me a few iterations to actually figure out what the issue was for me. I was following other people's definitions of success. I hadn't paused and explored what mine was, what I wanted to feel more of in my life, what I wanted more of in my life. What did I really love? How would I know I was successful? Not based on other people's definitions and what they thought, but what I really wanted in my life, what I felt was a successful life, that if I looked back from the grave, this was a life I was proud I had lived. And when I paused and I started doing that, it transformed my life. I was able to actually start to build more of what mattered to me in my life. But it really came from this place of figuring out what my own definition of success is and staying in touch with it, visiting in with it every once in a while when I had opportunities. Is this bringing me closer to my definition of success or further away? It became a guide for me as I went along in life. And I want you guys to discover that sooner than it took me to discover that powerful truth, that it's so important to figure out what your definition of success is. It will tap into your purpose. It'll give you focus and direction and peace and ease in your life and energy, because you'll actually really love to do the things that you're doing to bring that success into your life. I want you just to think about that for a moment. Breathe that in. We'll take another collective breath together. Because we're really looking at thriving in your life, in your relationships, and on your purpose, in your purpose. And I want you to pay attention to how you're defining success. And if you haven't, I invite you to spend some time doing that. And in fact, today, you can do that throughout our time together. We have these wonderful things called commercial breaks as we go throughout our conversation today. And I encourage you to leverage those. Really take those 2 minutes to breathe in the information that's being shared with you and what's being shared within you, and receive that information. Lean into actually processing what you're receiving in real time. You can actually reach out and call us if you have a question or you want some support from us today. We are here for you. Send us an email, reach out. We'd love to support you on the journey. And then I invite you to stay throughout the show. We have great tips, advice, and expertise that we're going to be sharing with you. So do the processing activity during those breaks. Really lean in, be fully present. And then reach out if you want support. And then listen internally and externally as we are spending our time together today. Wonderful. For those of you who are driving, please stay safe. Keep both hands on the wheels. No texting and driving. We want you alert. Just tune inwardly in to the conversation. Those of you who are able to, though, I invite you to actually put both feet on the floor. Settle into your chair, feeling that back supporting you. Take a big breath, and big belly breath, expanding that belly. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Wonderful. Take another breath, and as you do this, I want you to close your eyes, place one hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Another big breath. Bringing in all of you, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And in this space, what is it that you need today? What is it that will serve and support you to thrive in your relationships, to be on purpose, to have your own definition of success that you get to implement? What is it you need today, real time, to serve and support you? And receive that information. Sometimes it's a memory, a word, a phrase, a sound, a scent, song. There's all kinds of ways we can receive information. So I invite you to just receive, don't overanalyze, just accept. Go ahead and open up your eyes. Come back into the room. And I invite you to actually capture what it is that was laid upon your heart so that you're actively looking for it, that you're very present to receiving whatever it is that you need to serve and support you on your journey. Great. One more breath. Eyes open. Wonderful. Kimi, I was wondering if you had something laid upon your heart that you would like to share with us today.
So for me, what came to me is really about playful, being playful as I'm going forward. I have an enormous amount of things to do. I'm writing a book. I'm doing lots of things. And I need to just bring joy and play into my experience.
I love it.
And receive that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Bring it in and receive it. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful share. How about you, Sandra? Did you have something placed upon your heart?
Well, I am. I'm in the midst of great change right now, and so I just have to stay open to what is happening because it can be easily overwhelming. Yeah. So just being opening, accepting what's going on for me.
Beautiful. Open and opening and accepting what's happening, that joy and playfulness. I love it. Mm-hmm. And thank you both for sharing. And for me, I really had, similar to that joy that you were touching into, Kimi, what I really felt was a skip in my step almost, that kind of bounce or prancing that we see, that kind of energy is what I felt coming up with me, that there's an excitement and a playfulness and a spark that I really felt in my heart, and I liked it, and I want more of that in all that I do, that joy and playfulness and life spark and energy in everything that I do. And I hope that that's something that becomes contagious, that I receive, that I share, and it flows throughout our time together as well as throughout my life. So that just was a quick reminder to me to receive that and keep it and share it. As you were sharing that, give and receive, Kimi, and Sandra being open to that happening. I love it. So listeners, as we are going into our first commercial break, I encourage you to really spend some time listening and receiving whatever it is that you need and be leaning into that richly. And as we come back, we will look to serve and support you on your journey. We'll talk to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim Chi Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Kimi Avary, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
Age with Attitude TV is for the woman who does not see her future as a nice little old lady, but rather she sees herself living a bold, juicy, kick-ass second half. Now, if this is the life you want for your second 50, then Age with Attitude TV is for you. You'll find stories to inspire you, plus money and metabolism tips that really work. Check it all out at agewithattitude.tv, presented by Jan Rose Distel. Find us on voiceamerica.tv. And remember, it's never too late to create a life you love.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break and you got a chance to lean in and listen. Here's another way you can leverage the experience. I love to leverage and accomplish more than one thing with everything that I do. It's just another one of those things like lists that I like to do. So during the commercial breaks, take that time and that pause to really listen and be fully present. And then I invite you to actually listen to the messages and the commercials that are there. And here's why. We have updates about upcoming programs and things that we believe would serve and support you that are in alignment with us and our brand and our show. And a lot of those commercial sponsors are organizations and individuals that believe empowering women, transforming lives is important. And they believe so much in that they're willing to put their time, energy, resources, and brand behind it. And I personally want to know organizations and individuals that believe in empowering women. And so I wanted you to know that these are those organizations and individuals that are leaning into you, supporting you, and believing in you and the work that we are doing around empowering women. So I encourage you to, have a listening ear and get to know them a little bit, because they absolutely are leaning into you. Wonderful. Well, as I promised, I have experts here today to serve and support you in relationships and living on purpose. And our first guest expert is named Kimi Avary, and she has over 20 years experience working with men and women, helping them to relate to each other on a personal and professional level. And she was even sharing with me behind the scenes earlier that she recently had a call all about safety and how to be safe with one another and our communication and connection. So how important that is as we go out in the world to feel safe, to know how to relate to each other in a positive way. She is a certified NLP master practitioner, has a master's in counseling, a BA in family and family studies and human development, and she's passionate about helping men and women create harmony in their lives. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Kimi Avary to the show. Welcome.
I am so glad to be here with you, Rebecca. Oh, I just love what you're up to in the world, and all women I ever meet need to be empowered, and we're all leading the way, and I love being on this journey with you.
Well,
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you on the show today. And I know we have that similar heartbeat. And so I love having different areas of expertise come together as we're echoing that out in the world. Absolutely. And I love to start our conversation in that heart place. And really, why is this work that you do around empowering men and women as they're relating to each other? Why is that personally so important to you?
It's important to me because I'm a good person. I love people. I love empowering people. As we know, it's the same heartbeat. And I didn't know how I was not supporting the men in my life in being their best self. I was sort of conditioned to be angry and frustrated with men, thinking that they were trying to take me down or not help me rise. And then about 10 years ago, I had a total paradigm shift about men and women, and I began to see men as wanting to contribute to me, wanting to make my life better, wanting to see me reach the stars. And that shift made it impossible for me not to talk about that. Everything I began to do turned into how can I help bridge this gap between masculine and feminine, men and women, to rise above some of the anger and frustration and furious experience that people have into partnership. So that's why I can't stop talking about it. So that's why I'm here.
Well, thank you for sharing. And I'm so glad that you had that paradigm shift. Just as you were sharing with me, I could feel that energy of that always having to fight. I mean, that's hard and push against. And to actually have that paradigm shift where it felt like this harmony and flowing energy is now being created versus this kind of battlefield energy that it sounded like was what you had before. So I love that you're really creating that. You've had that in your life and you're helping create that for others.
Well, and just say, I went to women's college, girls' boarding school. I learned how to be a strong, powerful woman and not need a man. Mm-hmm. And in that, there was also anger and frustration from traumas that I'd experienced in my childhood that weren't serving me in creating the kind of relationships that I really wanted. Mm. And the path that I've come to about creating that partnership where we're seeing each person for the gifts that they want to contribute to us and we're uplifting each other is so much more fun, less stressful. I think it'll ultimately lengthen my life because anger and frustration will shorten your life for sure. And it's just a much happier way to be.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And that's where we can step into this place of empowerment, really choosing what we're going to bring forward and echo out versus what we choose not to, and how we're willing to receive people in our lives. So thank you very, very much for sharing.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Now, you shared a little bit about this trauma, and I know one of the things that you help people with as well is freeing them from past trauma and helping them move forward. Do you mind sharing a little bit about what, from your area of expertise, what you feel the best way to do that is, or a tip that you can give us today in that?
Well, yeah. So one of the things that I think is super important is that if you're thinking about a trauma that you had in the past right here in the current moment, your brain can't tell that it's not happening in the moment again. So there's an important element of bookending past trauma, and that means sort of teaching your brain that it's over. And because your brain can't tell a made-up memory from a real one. So if you practice revisionist history, I think is actually a really healthy thing to do. And you revision of what you would have wanted to have happen instead. So, for instance, I'll guide my clients into imagining that they had the confidence to say no to an abuser, to speak up, to be credible, to walk away, to not get themselves into a situation. Or if they were a victim, their little child, stepping into the shoes of the parents, giving the parents skills so that they wouldn't have done the trauma, so that the kid can grow up in a healthy way. So if you can literally revision what you would have liked to have happened instead and rehearse that in your mind, then your brain's going to make a better choice. It's going to begin to focus on what could have happened instead. And this goes along with sort of narrative therapy, where you're highlighting things that you may not remember because the trauma is so dominant. So both of those things, I think, are very important to help rewrite your story so you create the one that you would like to experience instead.
Beautiful. And just as you're sharing this, I want to make sure I'm understanding. It sounds like what we can do is, in a sense, rewrite our story. We can choose what we're going to carry forward and how the feelings associated with that, what we're actually, in a sense, bringing forward in our life, that we have choice around that. And it also sounds like in this, it would be really helpful to get support. It seems like it would be difficult to do some of this on your own because you're so involved in it, especially if it's particularly charged. So is it something that going through processes like that, do you recommend getting support from an expert along the way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if it's something that is really plaguing you over time. And I actually had a great phone call last night with a client from 10 years ago. And we were checking in. It was a beautiful experience to check in with her. I just love her. And she had been raped at 18 and had also experienced physical violence when she was little. So we had bookended that and freed her up to create the life that she wanted instead. And she's in a place now where she can go back and help others out of the traumatic experience. But she's not charged with the old trauma. So there's a place of remembering so that you can lead out of the trauma, and also being not charged about it, getting it to a place of neutral so that you can tell a different story.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And I love that story that we can move forward, and not just move forward, but we can do it in a way that we can actually go back, in a sense, and help others along that path, that we can get so healed and freed, in a sense, that we can do that. And I wanted to just tie all of this together because we started the conversation talking about relationships. And what I want to share with our listeners is that, paying attention to some of these charges and things that we have that may be running us will affect our relationships. So it's important to be looking at those things so we're not carrying forward into relationships things that are not serving.
Absolutely.
And then, Kimi, we are running really close on time here, and I know that you've put together an amazing gift. Can you share very quickly about what that gift is for our listeners today?
I have a special gift, which is a complimentary relationship breakthrough session with me. And it's an opportunity for you to explore with me what's going on in your current situation, what's been going on in the past, and learn about the masculine and feminine dynamic that's playing out in your own life in a way that's not working, and supporting you in having it work. And that is just my gift to you, typically my time is $495 for an hour. So for your listeners, Rebecca, I wanted to do something really special and give your guests an opportunity to speak with me and help them have some real great tools that they can use in an ongoing way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for making your tools, your gift, your time, and expertise available to us today, and then in an ongoing way with my listeners. I want to thank you for your generosity in this amazing gift. And as we go into our next commercial break, I know listeners, you know what to do with this time. I promise towards the end of the show, I will let you know how to access Kimi's amazing gift. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Do you find yourself working tirelessly to keep your business going? Are you finding out that you don't have time for family, friends, any kind of personal life whatsoever? It's time to stop feeling trapped by your business. Tune in to Reclaim Your Freedom with host Shirley Dalton. You'll hear from guests that will help you work on your business instead of constantly in your business and get your life back while the business keeps running and humming. Reclaim Your Freedom airs live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Pacific Time on Voice America Business.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Age with Attitude TV is for the woman who does not see her future as a nice little old lady, but rather she sees herself living a bold, juicy, kick-ass second half. Now, if this is the life you want for your second 50, then Age with Attitude TV is for you. You'll find stories to inspire you, plus money and metabolism tips that really work. Check it all out at agewithattitude.tv, presented by Jan Rose Distel. Find us on voiceamerica.tv. And remember, it's never too late to create a life you love.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim T. Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Kimi Avary, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
Tune in for Suzanne Ross and Lighten Up TV, evolutionary wellness for the body, mind, and spirit. Each episode features Suzanne and her amazing guests, including inspirational authors, speakers, wellness experts, and spiritual guides. This series is focused on achieving total well-being so that you can live well and love life. Visit lightenuptv.net to find out more. Lighten Up TV is presented by the Awakening Center, a nonprofit for those seeking a higher way of living and being. Don't miss out on living your best life now. Go to lightenuptv.net today.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that break and that you had an opportunity to lean in and listen and just think about, are there charges that are running you, or are there things that you're wanting to perhaps be open to really step into a harmony that serves you in your life, both in relating to yourself and into men and women in your life. And really just checking in on that and seeing if that's an area that you're wanting to be a little bit smoother. Sometimes we don't pause and even think that things could be different. And yet when we hear that there is a way to make things smoother in life in that way, it can be very exciting. So I just want to make sure you're taking a chance to check in and see what will serve you as you are moving forward to thrive in your life and in your relationships and on purpose. And that's where we're actually going next with our conversation, is really talking about purpose. One of the things I hear so much is people wrestle trying to find what their purpose is in life, and really wanting to know what their strengths are and their abilities are and what they're called to do and bring forward. And this expert we're going to be talking to next, Sandra, specializes in doing just that and helping people tap into that and discover kind of how they're wired and how they're made and what their purpose is. She is a certified hand analyst, and for the past 40 years, she's been helping individuals step into their life purpose. She's passionate about helping them through transitions as they are moving forward, so they know what their purpose is and they're empowered and equipped to powerfully step into it. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Sandra Edwards to the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. Glad to have you here today.
It's wonderful. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Now, Sandra, I've had the opportunity to know you for a number of years and see you share, and the heart connection, your humor, your warmth, and expertise that you bring to the table, I just love. And I wanted to give our listeners just a taste of you on a human level as a person. Do you mind sharing why this work of helping people step into their purpose, why that is personally so important to you?
You know, I came to it when I was at loss looking for something, and I found that hand analysis just had the answers. You know, you learn your purpose and your lessons, and you just learn about the deep places in your soul that I had never found anything like that before. So I love sharing this with people and changing their lives. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I just love the language you used about, you know, the deep things within their souls. I'm paraphrasing now, but it resonated with me the way that you shared that, and being able to tap into that wisdom and that knowledge and help people see that. What a gift. Thank you. Now, I want to make sure we're all talking about the same thing, because I think there's a lot of myths and misunderstandings around hand analysis. And my understanding is that's different from kind of the traditional, or how people look at palmistry or palm reading. Do you mind sharing what hand analysis is so that we're all on the same page?
Well, first of all, it's all about thriving. I have to say that.
Yay, good.
Yes, and your hands just show you the way to a better, more fulfilling life. So hand analysis is really the modern version of the ancient palmistry traditions, with a couple of differences. First of all, it's not predictive. I'm not going to tell you about the lotto or the, meeting the tall, handsome man.
Oh, no lotto, no handsome strangers. Okay.
But more importantly, hand analysis discloses the life purpose and the life lesson, your highest potentials and your deepest challenges. So it's the fingerprint patterns that we look at to determine the life purpose and the challenges. And the fingerprint patterns are fully developed 16 weeks after conception.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know that.
I know. Isn't that just amazing to realize that we were born with this very significant information encoded on our bodies? I just find that really, like it raises the hair on the back of my neck when I even say it.
And I'm just processing that as you're sharing that. I've never heard that before, and that's incredible. So that far in the process after conception, we already have that wisdom with us, that information with us. How powerful.
Yes.
Okay, continue on. I interrupted. I was just processing that.
Well,
or I can, I'll ask you another question. We're good here. I know.
That's what I wanted to say, and I just want to say that it's such significant stuff that it's I don't know what else to say about it.
No, that deserved an explanation point, complete thought that I love that you have the life pattern, you have that information that you can bring forward in life, and hand analysis is a way to tap into that and understand it. And what a gift to be able to have this guide, in a sense, to know the life lesson, to know the purpose, and to start living our life in that way, as you were saying, Sandra, to thrive. Not just survive, we want to thrive and be on purpose. Now, you've shared about purpose. It was in your bio. It's something we've talked about a few times. When you're talking about purpose, do you mind just expanding on that, what you mean by, tapping into the wisdom in our hands? How can that help us be on purpose, and what does that mean?
Well, oftentimes, life purpose is kind of a buzzword. And sometimes people are talking about a life goal or a business goal. And I'm really referring to that deep soul place that wants to be expressed every minute of every day. And when you're in it, because you just lose time. The time goes by without your knowing it. And it's the joy of being true to yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, because you're right. It is a word that's used a lot, and I think we are meaning different things when we say it. So I appreciate your beautiful, you can feel your definition. So thank you for sharing with us. And I know that you have an amazing gift that you've put together for us today. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Well, my gift is about heartline communications. And it has pictures of the hand and the heart line, and different words and phrases that each heart line would love to hear. Now, if you use, and sometimes if you use a word and it just doesn't, hit home, it doesn't make it. Well, it doesn't resonate with that particular heart line. So these are words that really fit in with each heart line.
Beautiful. And knowing, what does that do for us? I'm just curious about knowing the language to use with our heart lines.
Well, the heart line will tell us our communication style, and it will tell us our non-negotiable need. That bottom line, what you really need in relationship to be happy.
Perfect.
And the heartline just tells us a lot about how we move through life. So that's what my gift is about. It's about heartline.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing and expanding on that a little bit. I appreciate it. And that there are pictures. Pictures can communicate so much information. That's really valuable and easy to understand. Thank you for making this ebook available for people to lean into and tap into that kind of information. I appreciate it. Listeners, we are going to our next commercial break here. So I encourage you to lean in, maybe look at your hands, and we'll learn a little bit about where your heartline is as a tip when we come back. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim T. Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Kimi Avary, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
The Ugly Awkward Dance Show is designed to help you move through those ugly, awkward, and uncomfortable life experiences. You know what we're talking about. Did you know that each challenge brings a gift? Once you've figured that out, even the toughest challenge almost becomes fun. Each program includes engaging guests who talk about what they've overcome, as well as a mindful movement exercise to help you move through your emotional blocks. Yes, there will be awkward dancing too. Visit theuglyawkwarddanceshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break. And we have a caller on the line here. And so I wanted to, before we go into our other information, have a moment where we open up the floor. And CJ, I would love to hear your comment or your question.
Oh, wonderful, Rebecca. Thank you. Well, I wanted to make the comment that this is fascinating, and I'm really learning a lot and getting a lot from the call. Kimi, I really, really like your bookending technique that you use to address trauma. What a great idea.
Well, I'm thrilled that you like that. It's very cool.
Listening to
very
it.
Cool.
And then with you, Sandra, I love the way you talked about our purpose being in our fingerprints, and that our purpose is something that when we do it, we just lose track of time. I had forgotten about that. You know, I felt that when I was photographing my book, which, of course, at the time I didn't know I was doing that, but I got lost in time, and I truly believe that was part of the divine plan for me. So I've experienced what you talked about.
Oh, great. Great.
Well, thank you, CJ, for listening and calling in. I so appreciate that. And I wondered if you would just share a little bit about who you are, because you have a range that you touched in and resonated with, and I would love, and you have a book. So do you mind sharing who you are and what your book is?
Oh, well, thank you, Rebecca. Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm a forgiveness expert and guide, an author of the book Opening the Gates of the Heart, A Journey of Healing, which is an award-winning book, and I am a speaker, a coach, and creator of the Change Your Story, Change Your Life programs.
I love it. And I have the privilege of, I know you, CJ, and I love the work that you do. And her book is just beautiful, the pictures and what she's put together. But I wanted to have you share a little bit so that listeners understood the perspective that you're coming from and why those bookends resonated with you so powerfully with the work that you do as well, and that purpose and getting lost in it. So CJ, thank you so much for being one of our listeners and for calling in and sharing. I really appreciate you and the work that you do.
Thank you, Rebecca. My pleasure. And thanks for taking my call.
Of course, always. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate it. Well, listeners, I wanted to circle back on what I promised. It looks like CJ is our caller today, so we appreciate her calling in and sharing. And her formal name is Carolyn CJ Jones. So I encourage you to get to know her as well. And I promised that I would let you know how to access these amazing gifts that Kimi and Sandra are making available to you. So here's how you do that. You go to radiogifts, and it's plural, .net. Again, that's radiogifts.net. It's a net of multiple gifts. You'll enter in your name and email address so we can stay in touch, and then scroll down to today's date, which is May 10th, and you will find Kimi's picture and Sandra's picture there and descriptions of your gift. And you can simply click on the ones that will serve you. You'll put in your name and email address there again so they can stay in touch with you too. And I encourage you to lean in to all the gifts on that page that will serve and support you. You're going to see a plethora of gifts as every show our guest experts are sharing their resources, time, and energy and expertise with you in a variety of ways. And you'll find some gifts from me as well. So I encourage you to lean in, go to radiogifts.net to tap into those amazing gifts. And then I also asked Sandra and Kimi to share just a little bit more with you. And so Sandra's going to share with us where this heartline is that she was talking about, and just a quick piece of information around that. So Sandra, can you explain where this heartline is?
Well, the heartline, it starts under the pinky. It's
okay.
The one it's the major line that's right below the pinky. And it carries emotional information across the hand, and where it ends tells us what heartline type you are, and what condition your heartline is in. But the curvy lines are emotional, and the straight lines are kind of reserved and don't like to talk about feelings. And if it's straight and goes all the way across the hand, you could be a humanitarian, and with just wanting to save all the people of the world. And if it's a curvy line, it goes up to the middle finger. Well, you could be pretty fiery. Or if it goes over to the first finger, curves up to the first finger, that could be, kind of needing lots of connection, emotional. But all these things you can learn from my ebook. So I encourage you to get the ebook.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't want to leave this mystery that we didn't even know what the Heartline was because it was so important. So thank you for sharing and giving just some examples of what that can tell us. So listeners, what a great tool to be able to tip in to check out and lean into is that book. So I encourage you to say yes to Sandra's book. Thank you for demystifying the Heartline for us. I appreciate that. And Kimi, did you have a tip or a share that you wanted to give us today?
I do, and I just want to say thank you, Sandra. I'm getting your ebook for sure. I'm really excited about that. So my tip has, most people run around the world going in their own direction in what I call stuck in your own head syndrome, or CEOs, stuck in your own head syndrome. And that helps us to navigate our world. It helps us to get through our days. And it's normal and it's natural. However, it can be a huge detriment to relationship satisfaction because we make assumptions about the other person from our perspective that don't really serve the relationship. So I recommend, number one, there's one kind of assumption to make. And that is that the other person has a positive intention that you just don't know about yet. And number two, to be curious about what that positive intention is. That is going to smooth the way for any conversation to happen. So you want to practice curiosity. In fact, my upcoming book is called From Furious to Curious. And it's the art of curiosity in our relationship. And that will get us so much farther than simply choosing to see the other person as a version of ourselves who's misbehaving, who upsets us.
Beautiful, Kimi, and we are running out of time here on the show. I appreciate you sharing. And just to reiterate, really actually making positive assumptions about the other is a beautiful way to kind of shift our perspective and ease communication and build harmony. So thank you for sharing. Listeners, as you go out into the world, I want to encourage you to take this information with you to really be able to thrive and live on purpose because you matter. We absolutely need you in this world on purpose and for a purpose. And I hope that you will say yes to living your life in a thriving way, that wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.